Greetings, people of March 2010. Nick here, coming to you from the future. That's right, all the way from November of 2017. And let me tell you, the future's crazy. We all pay for the ability to play online, and we're all still reeling from a shocking end to the Call of Duty World League season. That's right, Optic beat Envious, so call your bookie. And of course, the arrival of the PlayStation Move, which has been abandoned and left to be forgotten. So special no thanks to you. This thing's about as outdated or classic as it gets. You've got the dildo and a 240p camera working together to give you mediocre control over your gaming experience. Not just like this, but like this too. Because even though Wii Boxing can be played like this, it's still better than this garbage. Plus, the PlayStation Move is not only crazy and precise, but it's got what we in the future call ribs for her pleasure, which turn out to be pretty important to those handfuls of 10 or so people who enjoy playing games such as Sorcery, iPad, and whatever the fuck this shit is. I mean, the buttonless Kinect is so bad that even Microsoft wants to forget about it, so, I mean, come on, who wants to pretend that their hand is a gun? What is this, 3rd grade? Pew, 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 pew! Oh shit, dude, I'm sorry. As you can see, the PlayStation Move allows us to immerse players in a game just as poorly as the competition. And if you're wondering, yes, in the future, every room in your house will look exactly the same. Now, I'd love to tell you more, but I've got to go. Oh, and if you happen to run into the present day me, make sure you tell me to start Totally Original Let's Play while it's still an original idea. Thank you.
PlayStation.
What the fuck is up, guys? My name is Nick, I've got a beard, and you're watching Laughing Girl Fat Reviews. Let's talk about the PlayStation Move, but first, Steven and I really want to thank you guys for helping us launch Totally Original Let's Play. It's been a smashing success, and we couldn't have done it without you. What? It hasn't been a smashing success? We'll work on it. Now, I'm sure that you're wondering why I want to talk about the PlayStation Move. Well, worry not, because I'm not sure myself. But we're here, so we might as well. See, I was playing my PS3 with the Move just like anyone else, and I thought about something. Why am I playing this in 2017? Should anyone be using this thing in 2017? So let's answer that question, because I ain't got nothing better to do. First, what the hell do you need to get started? Well, it depends on the game, but if you want the basic setup, you're gonna need a PlayStation Eye camera, PlayStation Move, and a navigation controller. So we'll start with the Move controller itself. This thing doesn't work the way the Wii does. This ball on the end here isn't just for pleasure in your butt. It works like a motion capture system. That means the ball lights up and is tracked by the camera, which is incredibly low resolution, by the way. Using mocap gives it the ability to read your movements one-to-one, which is awesome because the Wii can't fucking do that. It's actually very hard for the Wii to read your movements because it just uses accelerometers inside the remote, so it can't read very specific movements. Now, this was remedied a little with the Wii Motion Plus, but it still can't read you as well as the Move can. There's just one problem. The Wii uses an IR sensor to read where you're pointing, and it works damn well. It's basically the same thing in your TV remote, but the Move has that ball on the end, which just pretty much guesses where you're pointing. It's why there are so many games where you just have to keep resetting the pointer position while you fucking play, cause it keeps getting off track. Wii games don't do that. And as far as the navigation controller goes, it's just so that you have a stick. Okay, so now you know all about the controllers, but what games support the Move? I'm glad you asked, and we're gonna answer that and more in today's episode of Move My Game! Today's contestant is a hard-working Let's Player and co-host of Totally Original Let's Play. Let's give a round of applause for Steven! Yeah! Alright, Steven, you know the rules, but let's refresh for those of you who are just joining us. In this game, I'm gonna give you 3 different video games. All you have to do is tell me which one of those has move support. You think you can do that? Good. Let's get started. Now, which one of these has move support? BioShock Infinite, Assassin's Creed Revelations, or Uncharted 3?
Well, none of them really seem like they should have move support, so I'll go with the one published by Sony, Uncharted 3.
He chose Uncharted 3. Alright. Show me Uncharted 3! Oh, no! That's wrong. It was actually BioShock Infinite.
What? Why?
Your guess is as good as mine, but forget that. Let's keep going. Which one of these games has move support? Is it Battlefield 3, Beyond Two Souls, or Epic Mickey 2?
Oh, this is easy. Beyond Two Souls is perfect for move support. It works so well in Heavy Rain.
Beyond Two Souls, he says. Show me Beyond Two Souls! Oh, no! That's wrong again. The correct answer is Epic Mickey 2.
But isn't that a platformer? Why would that benefit from move support?
Who fucking knows? Let's move on. Now, which one of these has move support? Is it Skyrim, SOCOM 4, or Infamous 2?
Well, Skyrim has Kinect support, and it would be awesome to swing the move around like a sword, so I'm gonna go with Skyrim.
Wow, smart answer. Show me Skyrim. Oh, wrong again! Actually, the correct answer is both SOCOM and Infamous 2 have move support. In fact, Skyrim was the only one that didn't. Well, Steven lost, but make sure that you tune in next time when we play another game of Move My Games! Now, you may or may not have noticed the problem here. It's not the hardware, it's the game. So there are really 2 kinds of games that work well with the move. Games that track all your movements and rail shooters. Games that track your movements would be like Heavy Rain, Sports Champions, and Tiger Woods. These really utilize that one-to-one motion tracking, and it feels fucking great. So then, tell me why there are so many games for the move that would rather just use the accelerometers to read fast motions like flicking and swinging. It doesn't really make any fucking sense. But what about the rail shooter? Now, I said that the Wii does a way better job tracking where you're pointing, and I still mean that, but when it's done right, the move works pretty much as well as the Wii does. This one has 2 problems though. Number 1 is that it's much harder to get it to work correctly, so there are games that play like fucking shit because they don't bother to do it right. Problem number 2 is that they cause even more problems by making shit like first-person shooters move compatible. This is always a big mistake. They don't work well on the Wii, and they don't work well on the Move. But there are so many of them. Killzone 3, BioShock Infinite, Resistance 3, even fucking third-person shooters like SOCOM 4. They suck dick when played with Move, and there's no reason you should fucking play it this way instead of using just a regular controller. The problem is a lot of things. I mean, too many controls, shitty pointer tracking, stupid shit like waggling the remote to reload. I mean, how the fuck do you expect anyone to take this shit seriously? But the real big problem here is reaction time. See, you would think this would be even better than a regular controller, because you don't have to move your aim over to the thing you want to shoot. You just point to it, and you fucking shoot. But the problem lies with moving the screen. Because the reticle isn't always in the center of the screen can't move with the reticle like it does with a regular controller. But you have to move the screen somehow, so they fix this by having you point to the very edge of the screen to move it, and not only does this end up taking more time, but once you move the screen, you have to get readjusted to the screen you just moved. So your reaction time comes to a crawl, which is real bad for first-person shooters. So then they add in shit like auto-aim and locking on, but then what's the fucking point of using move? That is why rail shooters work so well. You don't have to worry about moving your character or the screen. You just aim, and fucking shoot. Plus, the simplified controls of usually just shoot and reload make it an easy to understand and very simplistic experience. Less fluff means more focus on playing the fucking game. So games like Time Crisis and House of the Dead are amazing using the move. I wouldn't fucking dare use the regular controller for these games. So then tell me why there aren't more games like this. Why did they insist on adding move support to a bunch of fucking games that don't need it? I don't fucking know. It seems almost like they just didn't want the move to be successful. Okay. So we all know how well the move did. not very well. Regardless of its initial sales, it didn't have any kind of lasting power. I mean, when I bought my Move controllers, I got 2 Move controllers and a navigation controller for $25, and that was in 2014. That's a far cry from the $130 that shit would have cost you when it came out. Plus, having Move support kind of died by the time 2013 rolled around, and that was only 3 years after it came out. But there's one thing I haven't been completely honest about, alright? That's the fact that the PlayStation Move has been repurposed using PlayStation VR. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you all about the PSVR, alright? Because this video is about the Move. But I will explain how PSVR uses the Move controllers and whether or not it was worth bringing it back. First and foremost, not every VR game uses the Move controllers, although the Move controllers that you may have for your PS3 will work on the PS4, and the ones you can buy brand new are, well, they're the exact same thing. Had a bunch of stock that you couldn't get rid of? Huh, Sony? And no VR game as of November 2017 uses the navigation controller, so don't even fucking worry about that. That means that some of the heavy hitters for PSVR like Resident Evil 7, Eagle Flight, and Gran Turismo Sport don't matter for the purpose of this video since they don't have Move support. But don't you worry, cause there are still some important games that use them. Most notably, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. Rush of Blood is an on-rails shooter, just like Time Crisis and House of the Dead like we already talked about. So really the question is, does it work as well as it did in those games? And the answer is no. It works even fucking better. I mean, I didn't expect to say this, but the addition of VR actually makes it work better. Now, part of it is that, yes, you hold the controller more like an actual gun. Holding the handle at an angle rather than straight at the screen is way more comfortable. But that isn't the reason it works better. It works better because it's tracked better. The first part is that the camera is a higher resolution, so it can pick up on the light from the controller more precisely. That much I think is obvious. But what makes it even more special is that it's not actually reading it in the same way. Whereas Time Crisis is trying to figure out how you're pointing it at the TV, Rush of Blood doesn't fucking care how you point it at your TV, because the TV's strapped to your face. So it uses the accelerometer in the controller along with the position of the ball in relation to the headset to figure out how you're holding it. This works so fucking well. No more do I have to reset my pointer position or reconfigure my controller, because it doesn't have to worry about making it look or feel like the pointer on the TV is the actual place I'm pointing to, because the TV isn't involved. TV can fuck off for all I care. So yes, PSVR makes rail shooters even better. So then, why is it that I could only find 2 or 3 available for the goddamn system? History is repeating itself. So what about games that track all your movements? You know, do those work on PSVR? Yes. Obviously they do. And they work just as well as they do without PSVR. What did you fucking expect? But there is one more type of game that I fully expected to be garbage. First-person shooters. Specifically, Farpoint. And when it was announced, I screamed to the heavens and asked Shuhei Yoshida why he would betray me. And then his soft and yet strong hands parted the clouds, and he descended upon this earthly realm to reveal to me the secret. And I'm going to share that secret with you. VR. 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 Yes, I know it doesn't make sense now, but let me help you understand the key here. It's so simple, and yet so... Well, I mean, it's simple, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just simple. Obviously, the tracking is better like we talked about with Rush of Blood, so the new PSVR aim controller works a lot better. It's lighter, and it has the extra stick here, which is pretty nice. It has all the buttons built in rather than slotting them into the grip like you had to do with the Move. And it's more comfortable to hold. Oh, okay, yeah, so the new controller helps, alright, it helps. But the real magic is in the headset. When I want to shoot to, let's say, my right, I don't have to move the screen to do so. I literally just turn my head, and there you go. That gets rid of the single biggest problem with first-person shooters on the Move. I can even aim down my fucking sights by just, aiming down the fucking sights. The rest is easy to fix. I mean, don't get me wrong, the second stick helps a lot too, because I can use it to turn rather than pointing off to the side of the screen, but the fact that I can just turn my head to look in that direction makes all the difference. So then tell me why there aren't more first-person shooters that use PSVR and the aim controller. What'd you get fucking cold feet, Sony? You get cold feet? Why don't they update Resident Evil 7 or make more games like Farpoint? Couldn't fucking tell you. But there lies the problem. So they're doing the exact same shit that they did in 2011, disregarding the things that work very well in favor of shitty fucking gimmicks that will ultimately end in the second death of the PlayStation Move. It may or may not also affect the PSVR in the process, but this kind of fucking behavior will result in the absence of PlayStation Move for most titles, much like we see with Resident Evil 7, a game that could work very well with the Move and the PlayStation aim controller, but it chooses not to. So, to answer the question, does PlayStation Move matter in 2017? Well, it pains me to say this, because I do love my PlayStation Move regardless of what you might think. But no, it doesn't. But, at least it's still doing better than the Kinect.
Oh, shit!
Oh, I didn't see you there. I was just reading. But since you're at the end of the video, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button, even hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell so that you get notified when I come out with another video. And if you haven't seen it, check out Totally Original Let's Play, the Let's Play that I do with my friend Steven. It's a blast. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to reading, so you fuck off. You can go now. Alright, pal, you need to get the fuck out of here. Okay, piece of shit, if you don't...
Why?
Hold on, I hadn't...
Sorry.